And we are live. Welcome to this edition of Wealthy Wednesday. Super excited. The sun is shining. I got up early. I did my meditation. I am ready and good to go. So I am so excited for our guest speaker. And if you are joining us and you are starting a business, you just started a business, or you've been in business a while, this episode is for you. Come on in, tag somebody who needs to hear this, invite somebody else who you know. Maybe they have a side hustle and they're ready to take it to that next level. Maybe they're thinking about starting a side business. And by the way, lots of things are happening in our economy. Lots of layoffs I've been seeing. So maybe you're like thinking about transitioning. Maybe you have been in the corporate for a while and you're thinking about maybe starting something. This one is going to be incredible. We're going to have a lot of fun. I have no idea where we're going to go because she's a Spitfire and this could go anywhere. So remember, my name is Leah Garcia, financial strategist, and it's really my vision, my crusade to help you properly protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth. We talk about Wealthy Wednesday. I believe true wealth is having success in all areas. I call it the 7 F's in your faith, whatever that looks like for you, in your family. Because if we accumulate wealth, but our family is not in alignment, we don't have good relationships, that's not true wealth. Finance, obviously. Fitness, we got to be in good fit. It doesn't mean we got to be marathon runners. It means that we're taking care of our good health. And fun. I think fun is fun. Fun is fun when we don't have money. I love a lot of free things. But if we have extra money and we can do things without the stress, it makes it even that much more incredible. And then I say philanthropic. I know it's not really an F word, but I believe that givers gain. As we are blessed, we can be a blessing to others. And then food. Have you all noticed that the more organic things are more costly? We want to be able to say yes to the things that we believe are going to fortify and nutrition our body and not be worried about the price tag. So today is going to be incredible. I see you are so popular. We've already got the chats already blowing up. I'm super excited. So I want you to welcome my guest speaker. She was born to Leslie Ann and Michael Agai. Okay. I'm sorry. You told me beforehand I messed it up. Her mom has since departed the world, and her father continues to reside in Trinidad, where Nicole was born and raised. She has a younger sister that she adores and a son that she's very proud of. And she also lives with her husband, who is her best friend. And recently, she just buried her precious Pokey. Please give a warm round of applause, which they already are doing, for my incredible guest speaker, Miss Nicole Agai Galindo. Take it away, my love.
Leia, oh my gosh. Hola, ¿cómo está usted? Thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be here. I knew it was a matter of time that I would get on the show. And every time I attend and I see one of your guests, I'm like, I'm going to be up there one day. So to be here right now is just truly amazing. I just want to thank everyone I see in the audience. I know all the names, and those that I don't know, I will certainly get to know you after this. Thank you for sharing a bit of my bio. I didn't lean much into the professional side, but more the personal side on my bio that I shared with you. And there's a big reason for that. When I know the topic we're discussing today, taking a leap of faith versus, jumping off the deep end, so much of where I've come, uh, it's my background. It's the way I was raised. It's the immediate family that surrounds me. And yes, even my little boy Pookie, who 11 pound chihuahuas left a lasting impact on me. So, I'm thrilled that I would be able to share that part of my story as well.
Absolutely. And it's truly my honor. And this is an incredible topic. I know you're going to bring a ton of value. But first, I want to give a shout out. The first person I want to give a shout out is to Ollie. Oh, my goodness. The two hair resistible ladies. Listen, is her hair on point? She looks incredible with the braids. Can you turn? Oh, my gosh, they're beautiful. I love that. I wish I could do that with my hair. And you know what, you guys, I'm really leaning into doing nothing with my hair. I usually flat iron it and do all this stuff. This is like I woke up. This is just what it's doing. I don't know. So anyway, maybe I need a haircut, but absolutely, and you bring so much value, Nick. I have watched you from when you first really started to blossom on LinkedIn, and you've just done an incredible job going from where you were in a corporate business and now your entrepreneurship. It's like you were already go before you ever ventured out into full time in your own business. So did you anticipate that, or has this been kind of a little bit of a surprise for you?
Wow. Okay. Lead off question. So I don't want to use the word surprised. Not surprised, but I am pleasantly pleased. So, I did put in the homework. Did I put in as much homework as I would have liked to? No. But then again, I think most of the time we don't. And there comes that defining moment when you know it's time to make the move. But no matter how much you've prepared, you're going to be scared. And you're going to have those moments where, and I'm very blunt, are people really going to pay me for my services? Like, am I going to be able to pay my bills? Um, but I guess what I did is I knew this is the direction I was heading in. I didn't know it at first, because at first I didn't even plan to start a business. I was just on LinkedIn, hanging out, and fell into some writing. Turned out I loved it. Took the next step to publish a few, like 9 months later. And then I decided, oh, I'm going to publish. And I did all of last year. So last year, I think, is when I knew this is coming. And, we all have bills to pay. I worked a corporate job, Monday to Friday, 8 to 4. What I did is I started squirreling away a little bit. So I hit some good opportunities last year in my job. And it's a company that already took care of its people. Like, you got a Christmas bonus, you got a mid-year bonus, you'd get gift cards. So there was a situation where the sales girl was no longer with the company. And I don't know if this is necessarily a good thing, but I'm always offering to help. So I saw where that was headed, and I jumped in and said, you know what, I want to help with this. So I started doing so. And I think in the first week, I closed so many. It ended up being a little something on the side for me. So I took that and I kept putting it away, like if I didn't get it. Um, and all with it in the back of my mind that even though I didn't believe I was going into full-time entrepreneurship at the time, I was running the Gifted Bipolar Writer around my full-time job. So I was working nights, I was working weekends, and I wanted to scale. And listen, whether or not we want to say it, the truth is things cost money. And money breeds money. So not money breeds money as in you're rich and you get richer, not rich. Money breeds money, meaning that in order to grow my money, I have to invest some of it. So I knew that that little nest egg, if you will, was my extra hard work so that I could keep growing the Gifted Bipolar Writer. I never expected the Gifted Bipolar Writer would turn into Guiding Brilliant Writers until, like I said, I want to say, guys, almost October last year when the trilogy launched. And I realized, you know what? I pulled together a trilogy of anthologies simultaneously launched with 36 of us. That's when I said to myself, you can do this. You can do this. I didn't know when, but like I said, February 6th rolled around in my job and I knew it. I was like, yep, this is the time. Something happened. Nothing terrible at all. But it was my breaking point, and I said, you know what? I actually don't think that I have to sit here anymore and feel that I had to deal with somebody's bad day. I'm going to go off on my own. And if I have to deal with my bad day, I'm going to deal with it by myself because I caused it. And that was that defining moment. But I did prepare. I took a leap of faith, guys, but I did not jump off the deep end. I think there is a big difference. I made sure to set aside enough that I knew I could pay my bills comfortably for 6 months. I have a husband, so of course he supports me and works with me and understood this is the direction that I wanted to go in, right? And while it was a little scary to say we're going to dig into your savings, he loved seeing me get up every morning with a purpose. I mean, I'm bipolar. Shoot, he's seen me at the moments where I looked at him and said, I love you, but I just don't want to be here anymore. So, it's a combination of things. But I guess in just this beginning, I want to say, don't quit your day job just yet. Put your ducks in a row. You're not going to know everything. I stepped in, I was like, taxes. What the hell is that about? Uh, I'm like, I got to get some kind of insurance in case I get sued. Like, but you will figure it out as you go. And as you earn, you will start prioritizing where to put the dollars. Um, and the biggest thing for me at this moment, guys, is like, I would say this only happened within the last month. I have finally, just the way I embraced my bipolarness, I have finally embraced me as an entrepreneur. You know what? I'm damn good at this, and I need to stop saying that. I'm damn good at this. I'm not the publishing part. That's the part I learned. But this has helped me discover that there's so much more that I am capable of, but I didn't know because I never had to try it. I never had to try to market. I never had to try to close sales. I never had to try to do any of those things. But you would be surprised, you take that first step, you're going to see how many other steps you will need to take and how many of those shoes you can fill. Like, I feel like I haven't shut up for like 10 minutes.
No, it's all good. It's wonderful. I love it. And thank you for being so transparent because you're really going to inspire and really kind of in a way instruct people who want to take that leap of faith, but they don't want to dive into the deep end. And something I want to kind of unpack, if I'd love for you to really dive in a little bit more, unpack this a little bit. A lot of times I see people who do have a corporate job and things happen and they just dive into the deep end. They just throw the baby out with the bathwater and they just go full time into their business. They have a good heart. They feel like they've got a website, they've got a logo, and what they're doing is absolutely, heart driven. It is their purpose, but they don't have the financial resources. And what happens is it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult to be an entrepreneur when you have the stress of the financial. You don't know how you're going to pay your bills. You don't know how you're going to eat. And in my humble opinion, it takes away from the ability to be creative. I think wherever you are, whatever type of business you're starting, it requires us to be creative. I'm in the financial services space, but it requires a lot of creativity. People think it's a lot about just numbers. It isn't. It isn't, right? The numbers can be calculators for that. So I would love for you to share more about what you actually did and how did you know to do that?
Wow. Okay. So I will start by saying that I understand what you're saying about the creativity. You have to have a creative side as a business owner. While you might hire people to market your business, they have to take the lead from you. Okay. They have to encapsulate your vision. So I have promoted other people. That's what I did as a gifted bipolar writer. There are people out there that you don't know that I was them. I was their content creator, I was their graphic designer, and I was even the regulator. You're talking to me, you didn't know that, right? That's not easy to do. You have to be so in alignment with the vision of that person that you start to sound like them. But you can't sound like them if you don't see their vision.
Right.
Right? So I stepped away from doing the gifted bipolar writer type of social media management, and network visibility building and such. Who knows, maybe one day I'll get back to it. But I went into publishing because this is where my heart is right now. And with the publishing, that's the actual grind of the work. The creative side is not just there for the publishing promotion, it's because I have to market my company too. And when you start off, most times you do not have marketing dollars to throw around. You got to do the marketing, right? So, in terms of being able, I believe, just back up what you, because you asked me so many questions. I think I answered one.
How did you know that you needed to squirrel away some money?
Oh, okay. I got you.
Because I think that sounds so basic, but it's something that people miss all the time. They think that, well intending, they think that they're going to start this business, they're going to be flooded and inundated with people who are going to just throw money at them. And when that doesn't happen, they come off the rails. They realize that they've gone into the deep end, and a lot of times they'll have to leave their business, or they really struggle. So how did you know that?
Okay, so I'm going to say this so you don't feel alone. I did the deep end thing too, and I did not have a business lined up. And those 3 months of my life were miserable. So I already knew I couldn't do this to myself again. Now, it just so happened this time when I wanted to jump off the deep end, I had a plan. So it was okay. I had a business to go into. Now, how did I know to squirrel away the money? I wouldn't necessarily say I knew, like, this is what I needed to do. I knew that I needed to save for my future. And I, as it is, was never a very great saver. A single mom, sometimes it was rent is late, the cable's cut, and I did not want to see myself there again. And as the gifted bipolar writer, that was fueling my passion. Therefore, I had a full-time job, and that was like icing on the cake. But I didn't lick all my icing off. I said to myself, this is what's fueling me right now. So now I want to step into full entrepreneurship. I need to keep the same mindset, focus, determination, inspiration, and motivation. The only way for me to have done that is what I was doing as a gifted bipolar writer. Because I had a steady job, I was not worrying about how I was going to pay my bills. So the gifted bipolar writer got 110% of me, my love for it, my creativity, my pouring into other people and pouring into myself and what I did. I knew the moment that I stepped over, if half of me started to worry about money, I would not be able to produce. I would not be able to produce the level of work that I was producing and creating the kind of trust that I was creating within my clients. And the thing is, I say that word clients, and it's really weird because now that I have an LLC, I'm like, okay, I have a client. I need to send a client proposal. But for the longest while, people were not clients. They're writers. And because I've written in every single anthology, they're my co-authors. Nicole Ann Guy Galindo is a co-author alongside her writers. Guiding Brilliant Writers is the publishing company, right? So understand something. I am my brand. I have always been and will always be my brand. So I think when you take that step, financial backing, and I'm not saying financial backing meaning you have money to pay for everything. Guess what, guys? My website's not up. I designed my own logo. My YouTube's whatever it is, 40 something subscribers. Go subscribe to my YouTube, please. Yeah. My LinkedIn is where I started and where I lived and what I built. I only recently went back to Facebook and Instagram because now I need to spread my wings. But LinkedIn still gets the majority of my time because this is where I showed up. This is where I built a community. This is where I realized I had a passion and met people who wanted to own their stories with me. And that propelled me to start a business. I didn't just start a business because I wanted to. There was also a need. That's something else you have to consider. Let's talk about that. What Leah said is you wake up, you jump off the deep end, you quit your job, and you decide, I'm passionate about X, so I'm going to start a business doing X. Understand something. Just because you're passionate about it does not mean you're going to get clients. Mm-mm. Right? You need people to be as passionate about what you do as you are. You are the vehicle to get them there. I think Brilliant Writers is only the vehicle. I put all the stories into my car and I drive it over to Amazon or wherever. So you need to know what, and not solution in this case, because I wouldn't really say wanting to write a problem. You know how people always say, state the problems, what you're going to fix, state the solution, and keep it simple. I do kind of keep to those guidelines, right? But it doesn't start with a problem. What I tell you is I start backwards. What you're going to get is a feeling of healing, empowerment, confidence building, community building, collaboration. With 21 co-authors, there is no way you're walking away from that project without at least 3 people you have established some kind of connection with, even gone into friendships or are going to collaborate with in the future. So I start backwards. This is all you're going to get. And as you move backwards, right, it starts here. It starts with you saying, yes, I see the value investing this money. I'm not investing this money because I want to be a #1 international bestseller. I'm not investing this money because I need to make $5,000 by the end of the quarter in royalties. Because I'll tell you right now, when we pop your bubble, that is not the way the publishing world works. And I will be the first to be transparent about all of that. Do not let publishers sell you on a pipe dream. It doesn't work that way. Okay? There's so much more that goes in behind the scenes. And pulling strings is not the way to get your book sold. You want your book in front of people and you want people to actually read the stories because your writers have put so much work into them. So I know I just kind of went off on a tangent there, but this is where the passion comes in. When somebody is so passionate about what they do, they can not only talk about it, but they can relate it to you, which is what I hope I'm doing right now, making it relatable. That's the difference. That's when you know it's coming off their pores, right? So people say start with what you have. Yes, start with what you have. But be mindful of what else you need to start. Make sure that it is within reach in a fairly short amount of time, because you're going to sprint and then you're going to crash. This is a long game. This is a long game. Okay, I am just barely scratching the surface right now. Some might be saying, oh my God, you just opened your business. You're publishing 8 books this year. Okay, I published 2. The 3rd is coming and I still have 5 to go. I have a long game before I reach December 31st to put out those other 5 books. All right. So people see the here and now. They see the fun. They see, oh, she's popular. Everybody knows her. You know, everybody loves her. Don't put me on the pedestal. Okay. Don't put me there. Don't put anybody that's doing it there. And don't put yourself there when you make it either. Because people do not grow and not make friends, but make valuable connection, support, and friendship by standing on a pedestal. That's not how you do it.
That was so fire. That was
I know. There I go. I would stop talking. Here we
so
go.
much wisdom, so much brilliance. I want to welcome a few people, and I apologize. There's been so many comments here, but I want to make sure that I welcome you. If I miss you, please shout out yourself. This is your opportunity. You are an entrepreneur. You're a business owner. This is your opportunity to rah-rah yourself. Share who you are. Network with people in the comments. I want to welcome Miss Noni Bella. She is here, and now I can do my cartwheels and somersaults because she is here. She hosts Sing Your Heart on Fridays. It's always a lot of fun. She's also the owner and creative of OCK Studios. So please follow her, connect with her. So much valuable, and you'll just adore her. She's adorable. Thank you, Peter, for showing up. We call him Popeye. He is a great singer. If you don't know, there's a man behind the bubble there. And Mr. Mark, a new friend, thank you for joining us. And Miss Jackie, oh my goodness, wonderful to see you. She's an incredible powerhouse. This woman is doing everything. She does Wishful Wednesdays. I'm not sure if you're still doing those, but please share what you're up to. She has this show that she does about traveling. A lot of fun to have her. And then Ollie, he's here in the comments too, and he always serenades us. Right now we can't hear him, but I know he's singing a song. Miss Adrian, thank you for joining us. We all need an Adrian in our life. I appreciate you so much, Adrian. You are so supportive. I see you everywhere. I don't even know how you do this. I see you on every podcast I show up. There's Adrian. I'm not sure if she's cloned herself. There's more than one. I don't know how that works. And then Mr. Michael, good friend of mine. He just moved to California. Listen, I love California, and he is there in Victorville. Thank you for joining us. And then we have our Queen Dr. Leslie Flowers, which you do Mind Over Matter Mondays. We love those Mind Over Matter Mondays. Those are incredible deep dives just into our mind, because our mind does matter. Right. So, I just loved so much of what you said, and we can't unpack it all, but something that you talked about that I think is so relevant for an entrepreneur, new entrepreneur, someone going into becoming an entrepreneur, is you said, I am my brand. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I see. Somebody who wants to start a business, they spend so much time researching colors and logos and thousands of dollars in a website, and they think that they have to do all these funnels and all these things, and they've never battle tested. What I mean by that, they've never spoken about it. They've never shared about it. They've never really talked to anyone about it. And what I found is the more you speak your mind, the more you grow your mind. I love what you did. And this is really the secret sauce to your success. If you don't know this, is that you went out there and you started to share. You brought value. You started bringing value. And through that, you start to refine your message. You start to get really, really more niche about who you're speaking to and your value that you're bringing. And now you can go back. And when you do your website, it will be congruent in alignment with who you are, because you already know who you are. That was so fire. Please don't underestimate that. I would really ask you to highlight that. You see, I'm taking notes here. I would ask you to highlight that one, underline it, star it, and remind yourself, who are you? Who is your brand? It's more than just having some colors. All of that will come through the process. So, gosh, that was so good. And the other thing that you talked about was knowing, you said you're bringing healing, empowerment, and confidence building to your speakers, to your authors, to your writers. And there's so much. I hear a lot of people who do collaborations. They talk about, I'm going to help you write a book, and people come to me a lot and they want me to write a book, and I'm not really in that place yet. But what does attract me, because I love this, begin with the end in mind. Whenever I work with my families, I always say, where do you want to go? If we accumulate this wealth, what are you going to do with it? Right? And if they don't know, they're not ready. And when you begin with the end in mind, you know that out of this, you're going to be healed. You're going to have empowerment. You're going to build your confidence. That is attractive to me. Is that something you knew, or is that something that evolved with you?
That's something that I experienced firsthand. So the thing to me is, I can't sell anybody on the value of something I myself haven't experienced, right? Writing did that for me. The opportunity to put a chapter in an anthology at March 2023, a week to the draft being due, I said yes. My leg was broken at that time. That's when I was stuck home with my broken knee. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was scared out of my mind. I wrote it, and it got published. And I go back often now and I read it. That was the first chapter. I've now written 11.
Wow.
chapters in 11 different anthologies. Um, when I see the growth as a writer, so you see the guiding brilliant writers, it's not the brilliance is not the writing people. You can learn to write. You can learn to write better. Practice. The brilliance are your stories. And they're brilliant because nobody can own your story like you. Nobody's going to tell it like you. And this is not about being against ghostwriters because I'm a content writer, right? People don't know. But there's something about your sweat and tears, heart and soul and vibration that goes into your chapter when you are the one that writes it, right? And then I also started a series called The Person Behind the Pen. That was every Tuesday and Thursday. Right now it's every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Every single one of the 62 co-authors behind me that I've published have the opportunity to come up and read their chapter live on this show. When you pick up a book and read it, it hits you one way. When you listen to the author read it, it hits you a very different way. And then you get to come on stage and meet that same author whose story you fell in love with, resonated with, took pieces away with, going to impact you, they stamped your soul. You get to meet them face to face now, and you get to ask them questions, right? So the thing is, publishing with me is a lifelong process. It doesn't go away. You start, but you will always be part of the family of guide and brilliant writers. The next book coming, We Choose to Be More Than Our Diagnosis, launching July 1st. There are 16 of us. Of the 15, plus myself, 8 are new writers with Guiding Brilliant Writers. They just joined the family. 7 are writing for the second or the third time. These are metrics. People are on metrics, but the metrics are the name of the company is getting out there, the brand is preceding itself, and people want to write with the company. If half of those people come back, it means that they've truly experienced something life changing and they want to continue growing. And I'm growing alongside my co authors, right? I am growing alongside them. I was on the Zoom call the other day because I do a Zoom meet and greet. And then I also do a draft where we get together and, we talk about our draft. When it was my turn to read my opening paragraph and I read it, I was the one that cringed. Because people are like, oh, I wasn't sure. Like, I heard her paragraph, it's so good. I think I need to rewrite mine. I'm not sure about what I said. Mine wasn't descriptive enough. Mine wasn't. And I felt like that for a moment. And the writers lifted me up. And they turned back exactly the words I said to them on me. Right? So don't think just because I'm the one that's the founder of the company and guiding you, that I myself don't follow the track and need guidance too sometimes. Writing could be very daunting. And for me especially, who can't get out of the Stone Ages, I don't have ChatGPT on my laptop. Everything you read from me, I have written. I'm not there yet. And I know that in time I will have to embrace AI in order to scale. Luckily, for the time being, I could just continue being myself. So I'm not against AI. I'm just not there yet. The healing, how do I explain this? Okay. So over the years, I've been doing it as 18 months. It's not even 2 years. Over the months, I have had many people sign up and for one reason or the other not continue, right? Life happens, finances happen, all sorts of things happen. And at first I used to be like, I had my 20 set away. I already started working on this. I already started promotions and everything else. And I used to get beat up about it. And I'm like, it's too late to look for more people. Well, let me give you an example of this last book. Now it's the 6th one, right? I want to go for 21. That's what I always go for. 20 plus me, I'm always the last chapter. Why 21? Nothing special. It's manageable for me, right? To edit and proofread and format all these chapters within a certain period of time. So a few people dropped away from the project. So now we're 16. You know what I thought to myself? It just wasn't their time. It just wasn't time for them to share their story, their story was not going to serve the purpose it needed to serve for the vision in this book. Um, am I going to myself? Shoot, it's $5.75 to put in a chapter, $50 off. It's the first time they write with me, $5.25 by 5 people. I just lost that money. No, not. I'm not. I trust. I trust. And in losing those people, there are a handful of people that reached out within the next couple of days and said, do you have any openings? Are you still taking writers? So 3 of the 4 spots were filled.
Wow.
That is faith.
Yeah.
That is faith there. So faith is not being blind. Faith is loving and moving forward with what you're doing and trusting that you're heading in the right direction, respecting your instincts, always trying to flip the narrative, always trying to, if the initial feeling is one of this is not, right, it's pissing me off, flip it, find a way to flip it. I am telling you that people do not realize the power we hold within ourselves. Unlock the mindset power that we have. The moment I stopped worrying, where was I going to find other writers came. Yes, my show is Nick Neff in Control, and we just passed our 1-year anniversary. Sometimes you have to let go of control to be in control. You have to release it. The more you hold on to it, the more it stresses you out, encroaches on you, and it encroaches on your light. So you gotta let it go. And yes, I've had to do that as well. So I have to share really quick though. I want to say hi to so many people in the audience.
Yes, please do.
I see you. So here are some tidbits. Recently, I co-hosted a fundraiser with Jen Manford and Aaron Gibson. And that's because I've always supported HR4U, a nonprofit organization uplifting lives through living wages and respect and being able to support their family. So I did this very first live fundraiser. We doubled our $500 goal. Thank you so much. And part of what I did was said we're going to take one person from the fundraiser and raffle and give them a complimentary chapter in the 3rd annual Legacy Chronicles. I have 2 of them behind me, December 23, December 24. Now comes December 25. Do you know who won that? Peter Mulford.
Oh, how perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Congratulations, Peter. I didn't even know. That's exciting. Oh, my goodness. I love it.
Come December, Peter is going to be one of the faces up here. Come July 1st, 8 more faces get added up here. Eventually, this is going to be full. And Jackie Halberg and Leslie Flowers, both are co-authors in 2 of my anthologies.
Amazing.
So there are people in the audience that have already worked with me. And because I'm growing, I recently hired a virtual assistant, Sharon Byrne, who is 3. This is the 3rd one she's writing it with me. And I also hired Leslie to be my gold standard line editor for solo books. Solo books meaning I have a book coming September 19th. This is a behavioral psychologist coach. Very different than what I'm used to, inspirational and motivational, but then also very different than the horror genre I went into earlier this year. But I did that not because I couldn't edit and proofread and save the dollars for in my pocket. This book could be beyond me because of where I am with my knowledge, right? And I want to do this guy's book justice. So I'm putting somebody on this who's line edited for 30 years, who understands the whole mindset psychology background. You see, that's the other thing you have to understand as an entrepreneur. Yes, it costs money to hire, understand that. But at the end of the day, and I wouldn't say I set my bar low, I set my bar within expectations, but I will always find a way to exceed them. That is very important to me. I would take lesser clients on to deliver higher quality work to. And I have people lined up for next year already because I can't work with them this year. And I'm okay to say that.
That's
I
awesome.
trust that if they're to work with me, they will be there again next year, right? And if not, they will find a publisher that they're supposed to find. But
Beautiful.
do not be afraid to let go of some of the things, right? You can't do it all. Oh my God, this is a lesson I'm learning right now by force. I can't do it all. And in the last 2 weeks, I said to myself, what is wrong with you? You work 40 hours a week. You work 40 hours in your other job. You're exhausted. Now you've gone into business and you're going to work 80 hours doing this? What are you, nuts?
I love it.
I'm like, no, 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 no. So I got myself a hammock. At least 3 times a week, I take myself out there, lay in my hammock, and I pass out. Mhm.
That's awesome.
Right now, you can't see behind me, but I got all my food set up because I'm about to cook a really nice Trinidadian dinner for my husband. So
Nice.
the whole point of this is so that I can have a quality of life. What quality of life am I having if I'm working 80 hours a week anyway, just doing this for myself? I
Yeah.
just, you know, so I've learned so much in just under 5 months. And I think the reason why I have is because I keep myself open. Be open, okay? Be open to the experiences, the tough ones, the good ones. So just be open.
Yeah.
Let yourself feel them. Let yourself experience them. Learn from them. And another big piece of advice, oh goodness gracious, do not compare. You will never measure up if you're comparing yourself to somebody else that's chaotic. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Do not do that. I was there. I was there. Who am I? Who do I think I am? I can't go on that. There's people out there that have published 30 books. There's people out there that have reached it I don't have. Don't do that. Do not do that. Okay? Measure yourself against where you were last year. And where was I last year? This time, oh, there's been tremendous growth. That's where you need to measure yourself.
Yeah. And I'd say even measure yourself every day. Sometimes I measure myself 3 times a day and just kind of see, I have many days. So I will just kind of look back, okay, what do I need to adjust? And I love so much of what you shared. I want to highlight this comment, but first we have a word from our sponsor and we will be right back. Don't go away because we've got more stuff coming up.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Introducing Leah Garcia's Wall of Wealth, the ultimate one-page financial plan to protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth with confidence. Whether you're a business owner or just starting your financial journey, this step-by-step guide gives you the tools to create a solid foundation for long-term success. Don't wait to transform your money mind shift. Download your free copy today at leahgarcia.io and start building your wall of wealth now.
I got to give out to a shout out to my amazing team, the Hello LLC. They're helping me to reinvigorate my Wall of Wealth, my free ebook, and it is going to be dropping soon. It is going to be fire. You guys are going to love it. Something you said was so profound, and well, so much of it was, oftentimes when we're starting as an entrepreneur, we're wearing all the hats. We're sweeping the floors. We're designing everything. We're doing the content. And one thing I would love for all of you to embrace, if that's you and you're doing everything, then leverage out anything you can. Maybe you have a child who could help you with something. Maybe you have a friend who will barter with you. Or maybe if it is just you, then still talk about your team. Me, myself, and I. Don't do this by yourself. If you're wearing different hats and you're going to be doing the design at that time and you're not the designer, then put on a different hat. Do it in a different part of your room. Like do something different so that you are literally changing gears. Otherwise, you are going to find yourself going into that deep dive in the swimming pool, and we don't know if we'll be able to make it out. You'll be able to make your way out. One thing that you talked about was that, and this is to Mr. Michael's point, is the fear, okay? And no matter how much you prepare, you're going to be scared. I love it. I live scared every day. I'd love for you to kind of share about that. How did you work through that, or just what was the process?
Sure. So as some of you know, I co-host Mind Over Matter Mondays with Leslie Flowers. So Leslie and I have become very good friends, and I've learned a lot from her. She oftentimes says fear and faith cannot live in the same space. I do agree with her. Um, However, I will say that through repetitive practice, through constantly hitting my goals, through accepting when I don't hit my goals, that I actually have the opportunity to go back and make adjustments and come back and hit those goals. And that's just a few of them. Um, where I lived more in fear and less in faith, I now live more in faith and less in fear. So I do not tell myself that faith can't be there, fear can't be there. Of course it can't be there, and it should be there. Because I could tell you, if I stride into a room all cocky and confident, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fall flat on my face. Why? Because you have to have some respect for, back to this, you don't control everything. Right? So I think it's quite okay to have a little fear. I have a little trace of fear every day, but I will tell you the majority of the day I live in faith. And I want to touch on something you said about the wearing many hats and the creative aspect of things. There are some things that I do not like to do, like administrative things, right? But I have to do them, and I have to learn how to do them right now. You see, the thing is, I don't want to pass off to anybody something that I can't do. So I want to know when I have an expectation of you, I have already done it, and I know what to expect. I know what it takes to do.
Yes.
And that I can empathize if you're not capable of doing it. Well, one of the things that I did is because I live in a 650 square foot house. It's the tiniest nothing. It's an L-shaped step. That's it. Okay, so I don't have very many places to work. I could sit here or I could go sit there.
Right.
So taking a TV chair and sitting in front of the couch is one. Sitting here in front of my picture window is one. Sitting in my bedroom area at a desk my husband built hanging off the wall is one. But the point is I'm within these walls. So my husband is very handy. And this is where his support comes in. He is building me a pergola outside so that I could sit at the barbecue area that he built and work. Right? I now have secondhand table and umbrella with some chairs, and they were actually from my ex-boss. I go sit outside there when I can. So I change the environment. It is so important to do that. Very. On the first 3 weeks, I was here, and my close friends knew, like Aaron and Leslie, Melissa, they knew I was going nuts because I was just here like this. And that's when I stopped most recently, and I said, no,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay to take these breaks, go walk around. I live on 1.2 acres in this tiny little house, but that was the attraction. So I need to get out there and I need to walk around a few times.
Yeah.
It's okay to take breaks, people. You need them more than you realize. Do not bang your head. You're going to get through so much less than if you were to take the 10-minute break in the first place and clear your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been leaning into grounding, earthing lately, and that has been really, really fun. I often take walks on the beach barefoot, but I've been intentionally being somewhere a lot of times in the evening and just taking off my shoes and just stretching and being in the ground. And boy, I'm really excited about that. It's only been a few days, but it's been really, really fun. I would love for you to address this question because I love the conversation of faith and fear. Annie Youngsung did an event, I think it was yesterday, and they were talking about faith. So I love this conversation. And this is an incredible question by our Queen Dr. Leslie Flowers. Did you have any fear about not having the regular paycheck?
She knew I did. I talk to Leslie every single week. Plus, I do a Mind Over Matter Mondays with her. And for the first month, I was dealing with a lot. 2 weeks after stepping away, my 16-year-old son, he's my first son, we found out he had renal kidney disease, $7,000 3 months in to take care of him, taking him to the vet 3 times a week, feeding him with a syringe. I was stressing that I was not having the time nor the attention at a point of startup right? I started questioning myself. Are you nuts? You walked away from a steady paycheck with a 401k, 2 bonuses a year. Um, at holidays like Thanksgiving, $100 gift card for the grocery, honey baked ham, employee party every day. They gave so much in this company to us. They treated us like gold. And I walked away from all of that, including, you ready for this? Medical, dental, and vision benefits, no out of pocket for myself and my husband, both.
Right.
That's unheard of. People don't even get the medical benefits for themselves, no out of pocket. Okay? So, oh, hell yeah. Oh my God. In the beginning, I'm like, what did I do? I talk to my psychiatrist every month to get my bipolar scripts, medication renewed. My husband has a pinched nerve. He's on some heavy a prescription, only 30 days because it's a narcotic. I'm like, what are you doing? You have copays, you have medicine to buy. I was scared as hell, right? And I was definitely, like Leslie would say, in that poverty mindset of, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? It came to a point, though, where after I lost my puppy, one of the technicians said in the vet office, when he passes away, you're going to realize how much time you have. And I was so pissed. But she was very sweet, and I know she didn't mean it that way. And it was only until afterwards could I understand what she was saying. It's not against taking care of him or anything like that, because I would do it for the rest of my life. It was that it's true. You really don't realize how much other things when you're going through it can monopolize your time. So now I had all this time and I didn't know what to do with myself. Like I started to feel like I wasn't working enough, right? I started to feel, no, you need to go and get a part-time job while you're doing this. I started to really stress, well, the first few months when you were supposed to be doing XYZ, you promised yourself your website in 2 weeks. It's not even done yet. So I started to really freak out that I tripped off the starting line. So yeah, I had that fear of giving up a steady paycheck. But I'm going to share, because I know we're coming in on time, I'm going to share something that my incredible husband shared with me. This man is my partner always. And when he tells me that he's so proud of my business, I tell him, no, this is our business. Because I bloody couldn't well be here if he wasn't doing what he was doing to support me. This is our business. This is our future. And he said to me, Nick, the hardest part for you in all of this is not being alone, because you were used to going to work. That took time to adapt to as well. You are going to have to figure out how to be okay with earning a third of what you were earning, and knowing that your worth is not measured by the salary you earn. And that stays with me a lot. So I tell myself my pay is that after this, I could say, oh, it's been icky the last few days. I see the sun popping out now, thanks, Leah. I'm going to throw my shorts on and lay in my hammock. That hour and a half, cha-ching, that's payday.
Man, that's so fire, so wisdom. And it goes right in alignment with Miss Cassandra Terry, our mindset queen. And she says the voice within wins. And I love one of her quotes, although she drops so much golden nuggets and wisdom everywhere. It's incredible to see you, Miss Terry. And she says, we have to do it scared. We have to do it with shaky legs. We have to do it even if our voice trembles. Now, by the way, having the financial things in place, right? If you look at my wall of wealth, it's going to talk about some things that you need to have in place. You need to have your health insurance and know that you have it. Have some individual life insurance that has living benefits. Because if you don't have a disability plan, which most entrepreneurs don't, you need something that will pay you in case you get sick or hurt. And then having that emergency fund, that's your prosperity account. And the other part is, you touched on this very, very gently, but thinking about the way that you are spending your money. I really don't spend money. I invest money. When I go to the grocery store and I buy that $8 basket of blueberries, yes, I do, because I love blueberries. I'm investing that in my good health. When I go to the gas and I put gas in my car, I'm investing that in where I'm going to be traveling. So we have to flip the script of thinking that this is the money that's coming in and we don't have to do anything with it. We can just spend it. No, we have to really be aware of investing back into ourselves. And we are coming up on time. I don't know where this hour went. I think this show is going to need to be 2 hours. I did see there was a typo, and I think it said we're going from 10 to 1. And I think we could absolutely go from 10 to 1. No problem. It would be totally easy. And I know all of you would be staying around because you're dropping so many golden nuggets and so much wisdom. I appreciate you so much, Nick. And I appreciate everything that you've shared. You give so much value to our community. People adore you. That's why they're here. A lot of these are already your friends that you already know, but I'm sure there's some new friends here. So what can we expect? You've accomplished so much in just the past few months. What can we expect to see from you in the next 6 to 12 months?
Wow. Okay. Well, first, I know we're coming up on time, so I want to say this is very important. Talk about the collaborations. Brenda Lee Acosta, transformation coach. Brenda Lee wrote in my trilogy, A People First Professional Networking Platform last year. She'd never written before. Okay. So Brenda Lee and I met in a coffee chat. With that, the idea started spiraling. I knew what she wanted to accomplish. She knew what I wanted to accomplish. And we came up with this brilliant idea, and I love it. It's starting July 10th. It's called Intention to Ink. It is a free Zoom session. I have been sharing it. There is a link so that you could just register on the document. Come in. We're going to do 5 to 7 minutes of guided breathing. Let's get focused. 45 minutes of focused writing. And you have the last 5 to 10 minutes, and you have me. So if you have a question, you're unsure, you have writer's block, you just need some motivation, new word, motivation, I'm there. And why? Because guess what? I have to write too, people. So that 45 minutes of focused writing is me holding myself accountable to writing. Because a lot of times I'm reading everybody else's chapter and I'm like, well, I got to write mine. And I hold myself to the same timelines as I hold my writers. So when we show up, I'm also showing up with my stuff. I think it's very important to lead from example. So that's one. Please sign up. I would love to see you. The second is July 1st is the launch of We Choose to Be More Than Our Diagnoses. Everything from bipolar 2, diabetes 1, cerebral palsy, paraplegia, ADHD, CPTSD, all of that is coming down the pike. Okay. And the last but not least, I do have a surprise. And this one I'm incredibly excited about. And this one I forfeited the website for because I felt it better serve me. Don't take the straight path. Take the path that best serves you. And the path that serves me right now is my merch page is launching on July 1st. That's right. Guiding Brilliant Writers merch page is launching July 1st on the book launch. Okay? You're going to have 2 types of gear. One is going to say Guiding Brilliant Writers Book Club, because you didn't write with me yet. And the other one is say I'm published with Guiding Brilliant Writers. You're going to have t-shirts, hats, tumblers, mugs, tanks, hoodies, even the little clip lights for your books, bookmarks, pens, journals. Listen, I got to grow. And the way for me to grow and give back more, and I do give back, is this way. So 59, I have 1 minute to spare. I made it.
I love it. Oh my goodness. I love it. I cannot wait for your merch. This hour has just flown by. You've got some new friends and fans here. Miss Nick, how do people reach you? What's the best way for them to get in contact with you? Because they're ready to put that pen to paper and start their collaborations, their anthology or their individual book. Where do they start? And absolutely, Brenda Lee Acosta, if you don't know her, she's an incredible coach. And I love her breathing classes. Oh my goodness, they're incredible. So how do people reach you, Miss Nick?
LinkedIn, Nicola Angay Galindo, Guiding Brilliant Writers. LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. And email me. I get emails from people. I get emails from people who even just want to talk to me because they're bipolar. It has nothing to do with business. So very simple. Nick, and I see the THEGBW, Gifted Bipolar Writer. Nick, the GBW at gmail.com. Keeping it simple.
Incredible. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to have this time with you. And there are really no words. There's so many golden nuggets in here. If you missed this episode, if you're live, please put live in the comments. And if you're team replay, it's okay. Everything is still there for you. You can still comment. I think this is something that people overlook, is putting something in the comment. Put your golden nugget. What that does is it honors our guest speaker, but at the same time, it helps other people to know who don't have the time maybe to watch, and they can see, and maybe it will entice them to want to see some of this event. So thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you. Next week is going to be fire. And as always, listen, you are the one in your family. If you're here, if you're connected to me, I truly believe this. It's because you're the one in your family who's supposed to flip the script and change your family's last name forever. And does that mean that you accumulate millions and millions of billions of dollars? Maybe it does, but maybe it means that you're the first one in your family to start your own business. Maybe it means you're the first one in your family who pays off their home. Maybe you're the first one in your family to be out of debt or go to college or send your kids to college. I don't know what success looks like for you, but I do know this. You are the one to change your family last name forever, but it takes some courage. It takes you stepping out in some faith, and it's going to feel a little scary. I understand that we've all been there, but you absolutely can do it. And we're all here. Listen, this LinkedIn community, if you're watching us on YouTube, come on over to LinkedIn. If you're watching us on Facebook, come in with us on LinkedIn. Whether you are an employee or entrepreneur, there is something for you on LinkedIn. It is a very special and powerful network and community. So with that, that's going to do it for us. And remember, this is your year to rise up and thrive and make this the best year of your life. Let's do it, champions. You can do it. We'll do it together. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, everyone.